February of 2021, I bought this car, a 2005 Mitsubishi Evo 8.
This is some love right here. These are the pipes that the car had on it, but I took them off.
I definitely won't make this car perfect. That's way too much work. Maybe I will, I don't know.
The car then sat outside, rotting away for the next 2 years, till randomly one day, I decided to start tinkering on it, and this here is what it turned into.
I definitely won't make this car perfect.
A fully restored Evo 8 that makes 800 wheel horsepower, has a forward-facing turbo, a Brembo GT big brake kit, and most importantly, a sequential transmission. Now, I probably spent at least 1,000 hours doing this full restoration and build. It took me pretty much all of 2024 to get it done. But as with any extensive car build, there's always a few little things to finish up that you don't want to do. Now, as you guys know, I'm currently building a twin turbo Honda NSX. This guy right here, fully built K24, and like I said, twin turbo. Before we get back to work on the NSX, I do want to just completely take care of all the little things on the Evo 8. And at the end, if I get all the issues resolved, there is some fun stuff that I want to get done as well. So this car runs on a Nexus R3 ECU, which is a full standalone system, and we are running the Heltec UC10 Dash, which looks amazing in this car. Unfortunately, there are a few things on here that I need to get working properly. The first is a timeout error. So this connects to the actual ECU via a CAN line. Sometimes randomly, it'll just lose communication and stop working altogether. That's issue number one. And then there are all the indicator lights, blinkers, high beam, e-brake, cruise control. The gas gauge doesn't work. There's a lot of that little stuff that I want to get knocked out today as well. So there are two things in the software I think I need to change to fix the timeout issue. If you can't see any of the data on the dash as you're driving the car, the dash is useless. So the first is this setting right here. It's on generic dash. I'm going to select UC10. Even after making that change, we are still getting the same issue. Device timeout. I gave up and I went ahead and just called Heltec. They went through the entire system with the ECU and with the dash, and they were able to finally get it sorted. What the ticket was backdating the firmware on the dash to an older version, and that took care of the issue. I'm glad that's resolved because that was pretty annoying. I want to show you one other adjustment I just made, and that is with the cruise control. So all the cruise control on this car works as it should into the ECU, but there was no indicator light on the dash. Now, as you can see, when we click on, we have an indicator light on the dash. On, off, on, off. Very simple to do in the Heltec NSP software. Basically duplicate an icon, select cruise control state, select a cruise control icon under image source, and you'll have a light on your dash. That's nice. All the other little issues with the Heltec system is fixed. The gas gauge is now working. The wideband is reading properly on the dash. Blinkers, headlights, e-brake, all those indicators are now working on the dash. As you guys can see, we got high beam, left blinker, right blinker, e-brake, and cruise. Fuel gauge was a bit tricky to get working, but I finally got it sorted. Shout out to the Evo Grim Reaper on Instagram for supplying this data right here. Go ahead, screenshot this if you're trying to get this figured out on your Heltec Evo 8. This is the information that I inputted, and I've confirmed that this is accurate and working perfectly. Now let's take care of this and this. This guy is an easy fix. It just took a while for my new carbon pillar to get built. Of course, I'm not running gauges on the A-pillar anymore as they're all right here. So let's go ahead and open up the new pillar. Check that out, man. A brand new carbon pillar from none other than AZA. The same company that built the carbon door sills, that did the carbon dash, the carbon center console. They did all the carbon work on this entire car. Next up is the steering wheel. So this is a full carbon, flat bottom, Alcantara side steering wheel. Once again, this is an Evo 10 OEM steering wheel that I retrofitted for the Evo 8. Fairly simple to do, Main reason, of course, was for the cruise control function. Now you might remember I already had a very similar wheel in the car. When I gave away the wide body Evo 10, I stole it out of the car and gave it away to the winner, so I had to get a new one built for this car. The new carbon wheel is in. That looks 1,000 times better. If you want one, I'll link it down below. The last missing puzzle piece to the interior is the radio. I fried the old one when I was trying to get all this to work. So let's go ahead, get a new one in the car and see if we can get this to work again without frying the new one. The new radio is installed. Everything is working fine. I'm trying to go through and program all of these steering wheel controls right now, and none of it is working. There was a slight possibility that it would, but I think with one little module, we'll be able to get it to work properly. And that is this guy here, the Axis ASWC-1 steering wheel control module. I need to figure out how to wire this thing in properly, and this guy should open up communication between the radio and the OEM Evo 10 steering wheel controls, allowing everything to be programmed and function like stock. Give me a few minutes. Let me see if I can get this figured out, and if I can, I'll show you guys what I did. We have it figured out. Now, as long as I can replicate all of this cleanly and not a giant disaster like it currently is, we will have working OEM steering wheel controls in the fully built Evo 8 with working cruise control. That's crazy. There may be one other person in the world trying to do this. Evo 8, Evo 10 steering wheel, iDoing head unit, AWC-1 interface. But if you are, this is the wiring I had to use. Pin 3 on the clock spring connects to black, green. Pin 2 on the clock spring connects to the ground. Red goes to power, black goes to ground, brown goes to key 1, brown and white goes to key 2. Welcome to building cars. Pretty much like any project I attempt, it doesn't go as straightforward as you think. I got the entire system done, it's all working properly, went to button it up, and now it doesn't work. Either I fried the steering wheel control assembly itself, the interface, or something in the radio. So I'm gonna order some more parts, and I'll get this figured out eventually. It'll be buttoned up and done right. For now, let's move on. So there's only 2 things left on this car that I've been wanting to get figured out. 2 fun things. Number 1, rotational idle. That should be pretty straightforward with the Nexus R3 ECU. And I want rolling anti-lag. Might as well. We can do it fairly easy. So let's tackle those 2 things. And then I need to pick the winner for the WRX build. Up first, let's knock out rotational idle. I'm gonna wire in rotational idle to the switch right here. I don't use the water sprayer anyway for the intercooler. And then rolling anti-lag needs to be easily accessible. I'll probably put it on the high beam stock or maybe wired into a cruise control function. I'm kind of thinking this right here, hold this back, rolling anti-lag, release, and go. Let's do this first. So here we have the switch that I want to wire into. There are 5 wires on here. All we need to do is figure out which one of these wires has some sort of change in voltage, so the ECU can detect that I'm hitting the button, and we'll be good. So this switch is kind of like cruise control and the steering wheel functions. One wire based off of resistance. So now if we go into the Haltech settings, active state low, use a 5-volt pull up. You can see right now it's off, and I click the button, then it goes on, off, on. But we do need the 5-volt pull up, so there is a variance. You can see right now it's at 5 volts. When you hold the switch down, it momentarily grounds it out. And if you release, then it's off. Click on, off, on, off. That's all we gotta do. So let's get this wired in cleanly and we will have rotational idle. Everything is wired up. The car is all back together. Now every time we start this car, I have it set to rotational idle off. Pop in here. Moving on to rolling anti-lag. I'm gonna go off of the high beam stock. It just makes the most sense when you're driving and you wanna activate rolling anti-lag, just pull back on that. Sure, the high beams are gonna come on, but guess what? I think it's kind of funny. So this is going to be a very, very similar concept to the rotational idle switch down here. Figure out what wire somewhere in the dash gets a voltage change when that is pulled back. Hopefully it's pretty easy. It should be right under the steering column cover right here. Excessive? Yes. Well worth it, 200%. Let's head out and test the rolling anti-lag. This should be pretty fun. Rolling anti-lag with a sequential, with the strain gauge set up so I don't have to use a clutch. Keep in mind the car's on pump gas right now. It's the middle of winter, so it's only making a few hundred wheel, maybe like 450. It's not that fast on pump gas, but it should still be fun. Now this right here is the Evo I always dreamed of. Fast, sequential, cruise control works, rolling anti-lag, rotational idle, super clean, not reliable whatsoever, and of course, yellow. This right here, my friends, is my dream Evo 8. And I can confidently say, she's now done. I may change the wheels. I actually ordered up a set today. They're for a different car, but I might put them on here just to see how they look. All right, let's go pick the winner of the WRX build. Okay, you guys ready? Give me some thumbs ups in the chat if you're ready. 3, 2, 1. Bam, generate. Now the fun part, 8548, 8548, 8548, 8548. Andres Carey from Lafayette, Colorado. We have a preliminary winner, I guess you could say. Andres Carey from Lafayette, Colorado. I don't have their phone number, so I went ahead and sent them an email. They have 48 hours to respond, as always. And if they don't respond, we run it again and somebody else will take home the WRX. Well, that was very quick. A few minutes later, I have his phone number and we're gonna give him a call. I hope he's excited, man. Some of the winners are just blah. How could you not be excited when you win a car?
Hello?
Hey, is this Andres?
Devin!
What's up?
Oh my god, is this for real?
This is for real.
Holy crap.
Were you in the live stream?
I was.
Oh, you were? I didn't.
Yeah, dude, my kids and I are at the rec center. We hopped out of the pool to come watch the live stream.
No way.
Yeah,
That's-
that is nuts.
Heck yeah, man. I went through your orders. It looks like you've entered a few different giveaways.
Yeah, we did the BMW, the Type R, and yeah, this one.
Nice. Heck yeah, dude. Congratulations. So, first question, do you want the car or the cash?
The car.
Figured. That's a little obvious, but I gotta ask. It's a pretty easy process. I'll send you an email with all like the different options that were for the car, like different wheels and all that stuff to see how you want it set up. And then, yeah, I'll get shipping set up and she'll be shipped over to you.
Thanks so much, Devin.
Yeah, no problem, man. Congratulations.
All right, man. Take care. Thank you.
Yep, bye. That excites me that he's excited. Frick yes. Congratulations, Andres. I'm happy for you.